Welcome back to another episode of our workout vlog. This is actually the last workout of week 3 of week 12, and tonight is focused purely on hamstrings. So I actually came into the gym tonight with a fire in my belly, and I was getting it pretty hard tonight. And the funny thing is, halfway through, I remembered I forgot to take my supplements before my workout. So I didn't have nothing but a nice hot cup of coffee inside my stomach for this workout, man. But I was crushing it tonight.
Yeah. I just came in regular night so far and enjoyed the hamstring workout. Did for this whole week altogether. It turned out to be a really good week for the gym. I saw some improvement across the whole week, and yeah, I feel like I made some progress towards my end result that I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's good at the end of the week if you actually notice or see it or feel the difference. And sometimes you won't see it, but you'll feel it. And sometimes you'll see it, but you won't feel it and everything. But as long as you know that you're moving forward, it's always motivating. And, like I said earlier, I forgot to take my supplements. And I thought about it halfway through, but it didn't slow me down or anything like that. But some people out there say like supplements work. Some people say supplements don't. They're a waste of money if you're eating enough food. I really couldn't tell you which way or the other. I just know that I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to where I'm trying to go. So if that's taking supplements, that might get me 0.1% better. Well, that's still something that I could take to help me get better versus not taking it, and whether it's a placebo effect, it still makes me feel good and puts me in a positive mindset, and it makes me feel like I'm doing everything I can, just like doing my diet, doing my hydration, drinking my fluid, weighing my food, getting my sleep, every little thing I do that makes me feel like I'm doing the absolute most that I can do. It makes me feel a lot more positive when I'm in the gym. Like, okay, I prepared for this. I did everything I could today to get here, and now we're here. Let's cook because the grease is hot,
Yeah, and tonight was one of those nights. You came in there and you were a bit more fired up and ready to get after it, and that's always a good thing. Makes things a lot more difficult when you have someone in there that's not like sandbagging, but doesn't really have like motivation or isn't in there to move towards something in bettering themselves or whatever it might be. It always is going to be a better environment to be in when you have people around you that are trying to push themselves forward, and it makes you want to push yourself forward even more, like a mini competition without it being overly competitive. Like you're just motivating each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100% on that. Like having someone in there that's in a same mindset as you, or I'm going to beat you, or I'm going to outperform you, or I'm going to outwork you tonight, and then the only option is to match me or outdo me, it becomes into like a friendly competition. Even if no words are spoken between you, you know when it's that kind of night. Like this guy here thinks he's going to outwork me tonight. No. And then it really picks up the vibe in the gym. And it's just you and me in there. But some days I get home from work and I'm pretty tired, and you can tell, you can read it on me, and you can see that I'm exhausted. But that's whenever you pick up the intensity and you pick up the fire, then you kind of make me see it in you. Like, okay, man, like I gotta match his enthusiasm. And then vice versa. Sometimes you come in and you're a little worn out from work or a little tired, or just a long day, and then you see me like fired up, ready to go, and we feed off of each other. And if we both come in there negative, or we both come in there with our heads down, like, oh, I'm tired, or why am I even doing this, or man, I'm sore.
But I feel like we haven't really, before we would have nights like that in times past, but I think so far in these 3 weeks, we haven't really had a night where both of us are kind of one of us or both of us has always been kind of more focused and kept the other one on track. And even tonight or whatever, you had your thing coming in there, and you were able to almost stay up with me all night. So,
yeah, almost, man. One of these days, almost. That's my end all be all goal right there. Once I'm able to do that, man, that's it. I'm hanging up the towel and I'm calling it a quits. So I took it as far as I could go. So, and I think honestly, what helped out a lot too is we both went a year without taking any caffeine. And I think that really changed your perspective of what tired is. So whenever you're constantly drinking caffeine, and you wake up and you drink coffee, and then you're at work, you take an energy drink, and then you're on your way home, you take another energy drink, or you drink some more coffee, and you're just in a constant state of exhausted or tired or fogged, and you're living on borrowed energy, and you're not sleeping well because you're drinking so much caffeine, or you're not getting enough sleep, or you're not eating right, and then you're just constantly in a tired fog, I think that kind of like muddies up the water for whenever you want to work out, because you could take something for energy, but it doesn't make you feel any more hyped than what you were before. It just kind of keeps you in that state. But going a whole year without taking any caffeine, I mean sodas, chocolate, tea, like literally any form of caffeine, we cut it completely out. And then still going to the gym and working out. I mean, it was sporadic because, like, whenever I was recovering from the surgery, I went through a lot, and mentally I was checked out, but I still try to make it in there. And I was working out 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time, a month at a time, and going in there after being at work all day and then working out for an hour a night without any caffeine, like it really kind of opened my eyes to, like, this is what exhaustion feels like. This is what tired feels like. And it let me redirect where I need my energy the most at. And it's like waking up in the morning and going to work. Do I need to take caffeine for that? No, I have to do that, and I'm going to do it. But for my workout, when I come home from work and I'm tired and exhausted, it's like, okay, do I want caffeine for this? Yes, because I'm going to push myself 100%. But at work, I'm not saying I don't give it 100%, but it's not the same type of physical output, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you're saying, like when we took that year off from caffeine, it was like, for me, it was a bit more of a bigger thing, because you did your coffee or whatever, but I had all kinds of caffeine sources from, like, energy drinks, whatever else. I was never really big on coffee itself, but like sodas and stuff like that. And then going without caffeine for the year, like that first, like 3 or 4 weeks was miserable, like with the headaches and stuff like that. But after that, it became more of the energy was steady, but you did have, like, later on in the day, you would feel like that grogginess, kind of tiredness. But it wasn't like as big of a drop off. It was like a steady decrease from when you woke up to when you were tired for sleep. But like now, with adding the caffeine back in, like shortly before we started this 12-week journey right here, I started doing the caffeine again. And I had maybe 3 or 4 different caffeine drinks in, like, the weeks prior to that, as like my first couple of caffeine things. And starting caffeine again, I noticed, like, I don't really feel it like I thought I would. I figured I'd take it or whatever and be like, but I didn't have anything to really let my body notify me, like, like this is an energy boost kind of thing, because I still wasn't really doing anything. I'd have a little caffeine because I was like, well, it's been a while since I had this. Let me have one of those kind of thing. And I also noticed, like, that stuff tasted different. I went so long without having it that like drinks that I had before that I was like, man, these were amazing back then. Like, I tried them and I was like, oh, this is nothing like I remember. Yeah. But yeah, like now, like I was telling you, like I started doing like a Celsius energy drink before the workout. You do coffee, I do that because I've never been a big coffee person. And like doing these Celsiuses, I was getting home after work, like the first week that we started doing this, and I noticed, like, I was starting just in like the 20, 30 minutes, I'd sit on the couch and be like kind of groggy. Started doing those, and I noticed I don't have that anymore. Like, I drink it just before I leave work. By the time I get home, it's already hit me, and I don't have that groggy feeling. I'm just ready to go, sort of. So it is a nice difference, being able to feel it and see how it's affecting me.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, whenever I wasn't on it too, I had the same thing. Like, I wake up with energy because I'd go to bed earlier because I was tired. So I get more sleep. I wake up with energy, and then I was steady throughout the day without any highs and lows, no crashes, no nothing. But as the day went on, I progressively got tireder and tireder, and I felt the fatigue setting in. By the time I got home, like, I didn't have the energy to go into the gym and train 100% and give it my all. Like, I could get in there and do some sets and some reps, but I couldn't really force myself to get into a heavy lifting cycle or into, like, really pushing myself. But I could come home and hang out with my kids. I could go swimming. I could go ride bikes. I could barbecue. I could sit around and drink beer like the best of them. I could do stuff like that, like hanging out with my wife and go out to dinner. Like, I had energy for that type of stuff. But to get off of work and then come home and strain and strain and strain and breathe heavy and strain after being at work all day, I didn't have the mental capacity for that with the lack of energy throughout the day. And by 9 o'clock, I was ready for bed, and by the time I got home, it's like 5:30, and then I had so much time in the evening to do everything else that I had to do, and it was just exhausting. So once I started drinking caffeine again, I told myself, like, if you start drinking it, you're going to have to put it to use. You can't just take caffeine and then just sit on the couch and watch TV because you're too tired to watch TV. If you're tired, go to bed. if you can sleep in, sleep in. If you get a chance to take a nap, take a nap. And if you absolutely need caffeine, don't take it unless it's legitimate need. Like, okay, something broke on my vehicle. I have to get it fixed tonight. It's 11 o'clock. I'm tired. I got to drink some caffeine because I got to work all night on this to get it back up so I could go to work tomorrow or the next day or whatever. And timeline crunches, sure, but just in your day-to-day life, like how much caffeine do you really need? Like, do you really need caffeine to play on your phone? Do you really need a cup of coffee to like sit there and watch TV? Do you really need an energy drink just to go hang out with friends? I mean, honestly, do you really need that? I mean, no. The answer is typically no. Do you need caffeine for your job? Depending on what your job is. I can see some situations and some cases where people do rely on caffeine. But for the most part, like I don't think people need as much caffeine as they think they do. So when they actually do go to use it, it doesn't work for them, right? Because it's a drug. It very much so is a drug, and it has a half-life, and it has an immunity, and you'll build an immunity to it. So whenever I start taking it again, I told myself, like, if you decide after a year to start doing this again, put it to use. And then the night that I decided was May 8th. And I decided, okay, it's a year exactly. I'm going to drink a cup of coffee. It was a Monday night, and I'm going to get in the gym and see what happens. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, and I was just like, I'm back. And it's just been full throttle ever since when I'm in the gym,
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, with the caffeine itself, I've noticed like
real quick. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but to explain how much coffee I was drinking. I'd wake up in the morning and drink 16 ounces of coffee, and I would put 2 heaping tablespoons of instant coffee in my coffee. And I would do this twice a day and get nothing out of it. And I could go to sleep within 20 minutes of doing that, and I would get nothing out of it. So I took a year off from caffeine because I found out on my own accordings that I was addicted to it, and I was relying on it too much, and I didn't want to have to rely on something like that to make it through the day. So anyway, so go on. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, it's all right. Like when I started doing like taking the energy drinks to work out and stuff like that, it was more along the lines of how you had put it. Like you explained it to me in the same way. So I only do the energy drinks like about an hour before we start working out. I drink the energy drink, and then we work out Monday through Saturday. Sunday we don't work out. I don't do any sort of caffeine that day, just to keep it kind of level because I don't really need it on that particular day. Mm-hmm. Also, it helps like Saturdays, like right now, not working weekends, sleeping a little bit more, get a little extra rest, maybe take a nap during the day if you feel like it, kind of thing. But
yeah, naps are helpful.
But yeah, like I don't rely on caffeine like I did before. Like everything I would drink before pretty much had caffeine in it until again, like you had mentioned that you had dropped doing the caffeine, and it was about a month or so, maybe a little more after that I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, like those energy drink cans say like don't drink more than 2 or 3 at a time. And I was pounding freaking like 2 or 3 in like 2 hours.
Yeah. You feel your heart go like a long stride without stopping. Like, wait a minute.
I was like, you know what? Maybe he is onto something with. Maybe I should give it a little bit of a break. And yeah, in doing so, like I said, I did feel like a lot better. Just in the fact of I didn't have like many highs and lows and like energy ups and down crashes and stuff like that, and just having like a steady energy. And also it helped a lot with sleep, like you were saying. Mm-hmm. Like at the end of the night, I didn't have a lot of those nights like I would before where it's freaking 10, 11 o'clock at night or whatever. I got to go to sleep for work, and I'm laying in bed just like, all right, it's going to happen.
Yeah. So
just when is it going to happen?
Yeah, so I'm glad you actually brought that up because that was a big thing for me too. I noticed the quality of my sleep improved dramatically when I stopped drinking caffeine. So now I drink it at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't drink it any later than that. And I only drink about 8 ounces. 8 to 10 ounces is all I drink, and that's it. And that's enough to get me fired up and going hard at the gym. And then I'm still able to get to sleep by like 9:30, 10:30. I'm able to pass right out and sleep through the night, no issues.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Look at them caffeines.
Yeah. Hopefully you can see it on the video, man. Because sometimes it washes out in the video. I don't know why it washes out, but it does. But
I can see them in the video from here.
Whenever it's actually like edited and buffered and uploaded and stuff like that. So They're coming along. So okay. So the funny thing is, I'm gonna try not to name names. I'm real horrible at this because sometimes it slips. So there's this girl that I know, and she complains about I have insomnia and I can't sleep. I have insomnia, and then she says that she doesn't get up until 11 o'clock to noon, and she can't go to bed till like 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. But then she wakes up and she drinks like a 20-ounce coffee. And then, like 3 hours later, she's having a monster. And well, let me back up. She says, I told her, well, you're probably addicted to caffeine. You need to stop drinking caffeine. She goes, no, caffeine doesn't do nothing for me. Like, I could drink caffeine all day, and it does nothing for me. Like, it does nothing for me. Caffeine doesn't affect me. So she wakes up at noon, and she starts her day off with like a 20-ounce coffee from Starbucks. And then she has an energy drink. And then later down the road, she has another energy drink. And then she'll have 1 or 2 more coffees. She'll drink coffee all the way up to 11 o'clock midnight, right? 11 p.m. to midnight. And she can't go to bed till like 4 or 5 in the morning. And she's like, it doesn't affect me. And so, okay, well, you're going to bed at midnight and you're waking up around noon, right? Oh, so you're going to bed around like 4 or 5 in the morning. You're waking up at noon every day, consistently. And look at when you wake up and the time you start drinking caffeine, and look at when you stop drinking caffeine, and look at how long it takes you to go to bed after drinking all that caffeine. If you stop drinking caffeine, you will be able to get your schedule back on track, and you'll be able to get your sleep schedule, and then you'll start sleeping better. It takes about a month. It's not like, oh, I stopped drinking caffeine for today. No, there's a half-life in caffeine, and it takes a while to get it completely out of your system. And then the first like 15 days are the absolute worst because the headache is so severe. But once the headache goes away, if you can make it through the headache and the headache finally stops, about day 25, 30, you're going to start having some of the best sleep you've ever had in years. I'm not going to say the best sleep of your life, but it's going to be the best sleep you've had in years. And it makes a dramatic difference. And I try explaining this to her, and she's just like, no, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. It's like, okay, well, you go to bed just fine at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, right? You have no problem going to bed early in the morning. You just have a problem going to bed at the regular scheduled time that most people go to bed because you're still drinking caffeine at the time, but you can't figure out why. But like I said, and I'm not trying to like throw shade or anything like that too, but that's what I'm talking about. And like, she doesn't have a job, she doesn't go to work, she's a stay-at-home wife, and it's just like, why do you need that much caffeine? Like why do you need to drink that much caffeine? Why don't you drink some other beverage like water or a sports drink or just something else? Why does it have to be a caffeinated beverage? Like when you're not even doing nothing that requires that much energy. Oh, well, I like the taste. Drink decaf, right? Get decaf. There's nothing wrong with decaf. Well, the flavor's different. Okay, I agree. It is somewhat, but when you drink it long enough, you won't even notice the flavor difference. Like what you said, when you stopped drinking it long enough, when you came back to it, the flavor was just kind of like, what the, right?
Yep. And I really enjoy the flavor of water. People say like water doesn't have a flavor, but it does.
Oh, it does.
Water, like different waters taste different. Like, and yeah, it's, up in the water intake that for working out right now, it's been nice because like I said, I really enjoy drinking water. I like cold water. It's just delicious.
So speaking of water, whenever I'm not at work, when I'm at work, I get about a gallon and a half of water a day. And then whenever I'm home, I try to continue to drink that much water. So I got a 24-ounce shaker cup, and I try to drink about like 6 of those a day, 6 or 7 of them, depending on how my day goes from the time I wake up to the time I work out. But today, I don't know if I didn't drink enough water or if it was from not taking my supplements. But I'll tell you one thing. Normally when I'm working out, my biceps and my shoulders get really veiny whenever I get a pump. And I know I'm working out my lower body. Granted, I'm not working out my upper body. But I still will normally get very vascular in my upper body when I work out my lower body because you're still straining. So, like, and to me right now, I'm thinking, well, was it a lack of sodium? Was it a lack of water? Now that you mentioned water, did I not drink as much water? Because now that I think about it, I had 24 ounces when I woke up. And then I had another 24 ounces between my 9 o'clock meal and my lunch. And then I had 2 more 24-ounce bottles, so another roughly 50 ounces before my workout. And then I had my coffee, then another 24 ounces. So I'm definitely lower than what I would normally be. So it's like, okay, well, maybe that's why my veins weren't coming out as much, or maybe it is the supplements, so maybe they do work. But I mean, just rattling around my head, just kind of, the ADD kicked in and just kind of pinged around all over the place and stuff.
I got you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other than that, though, yeah, it was a great workout tonight, like usual. Enjoyed myself in there. Looking forward to next week and seeing what progress I can make there too.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing too. Tonight was a really phenomenal workout. And then while we're working out, you made a comment about stretch marks, and you know we both have them. And I've noticed too, since my stomach's been getting smaller, the stretch marks across my stomach around my navel area, they started getting darker, which is kind of interesting to me. It's like, man, they're getting, I guess, loose from the skin, so they're turning kind of like purplish, which I don't understand why they're turning colors. You figure when they're being stretched to the gills and they're screaming in agony from all the stretch is when there would be different colors. But now it seems like I'm losing weight. They're starting to kind of turn colors and everything, which I find interesting.
Yeah, like I have them around my midsection pretty much all the way around, and noticing them more in my arms, like my upper arm as well. But yeah, like it is kind of odd that you would think it'd be the other way around, but yeah, they're a lot more noticeable, I guess, because the skin's not stretched as tight. It allows it to be a little bit more noticeable. Like
maybe blood flow.
The skin's kind of folding back over, and you can see the ridges a little easier, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's like blood flow or something like that it gets in there. I'm not sure either, man. And I'm not going to take the time to look it up why either. You know, it's just maybe
up my Moderna use or whatever it is, Moderna.
No, not me. If I get too much, man, I'm just going to go have my mommy makeover. You know, get my boobs done, get my tummy tuck. You know.
Yep.
So, but I think that covers it for this one, man. Is there anything else you want to add, or?
No. It was a great week. Hard workouts every day, and next week's going to be the same. Yeah. More progress.
Yep, more positivity and just kind of getting in there and doing what we do and doing whatever it takes. I mean, whatever it takes, absolutely whatever it takes to hit your goals, man, regardless of what it is. Just stay positive and be happy for other people who reach their goals or find what works for them. And let's try to lift each other up and let's try to support each other out there, man. There's a lot of negativity and a lot of hate going around, and let's not share that amongst each other. You know, if we can support each other and we can bring a little bit of positivity to this and we can kind of help support, even if you have a different diet or a different workout or a different sport or a different training protocol, that doesn't mean we have to be negative towards each other, man. We can all be positive, and we're all in this together. We're all after the same pursuit, right? To get better. No matter what your better is, we're all in it to get better, you know? So let's just try to stay positive to one another and keep this thing going. So, and that's it for me, man. I'm done. So just keep in mind, guys, no agony, no braggony.
Yep. Later.
All right. Till next time. Thanks for watching.